So what exactly does the Coalition want in return for any support on this emissions trading scheme to get it through Parliament? Well, I spoke a short while ago to the Shadow Minister for Emissions Trading, Andrew Robb. Andrew Robb, thank you for your time. Can you clarify for us, is the Coalition willing to compromise with the government, to negotiate with the government, or not?
David, with the scheme that was outlined yesterday, or the tinkering that went on, and what's now on the table, as we understand it, we would not find that acceptable.
OK, but you are willing to sit down with the government and try to find a compromise?
Well, you know, they've had lots of opportunity. At the moment, they're saying that they're not going to make any fundamental changes. And the trouble with this today, David, is that notwithstanding the tinkering that went on yesterday, the fundamental flaw, the big problem, the key problem to do with the design of their scheme remains, and that is that there are Australian companies who employ millions of Australians who will face a huge tax that none of their competitors are facing, and that means increased costs, and that means workers being put off, many of those in key regional centres around the country. This has been the issue all along. The design of the scheme does not allow for other countries not coming into a scheme, and it is deeply flawed, and until the government gives some indication that they would look to address that issue, I don't see where there's any common ground.
So, Andrew Robb, your bottom line, therefore, would be that any trade-exposed industry should be fully protected from the impact of an emissions trading scheme?
Well, that's certainly a key element of our concern from day one. There are many other issues, but that's a key element. But, of course, David, our bottom line really is for the Prime Minister to deliver the promise that he made on many occasions before the last election. A promise he hasn't repeated, I might add, since the election, but he did say then he would deliver a scheme which would produce deep cuts in emissions but would not disadvantage our export and our import competing industries. Now, when they come up with a scheme that can meet those parameters, you know, then we'll be interested.
OK, but just to be clear on this, are you saying that any trade-exposed industry should have 100% free permits to pollute until the rest of the world has a scheme in place?
What we're saying is that the design of the scheme must be robust enough so that if we don't find other countries come on board in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how stupid would we be to have a scheme in place which imposes billions and billions of dollars of tax on our export and import competing industries with no capacity to pass it on, competing against other countries which don't have that tax? How stupid would we be if in 15 or 20 years' time most of our competitors still don't have a scheme? This scheme is not designed to cope with those sorts of circumstances, and as such it is fundamentally flawed. It will put at risk tens and tens of thousands of jobs. It will not lead to any significant investment, and it won't do anything about CO2 emissions. So
okay,
it fails on all counts.
It sounds like you are saying no scheme in Australia at all until there is an international scheme in place.
No, we're saying get a design of a scheme which will not put tens of thousands of jobs at risk.
And now, how do you do that?
Well, the government said that they would do that. Let them design the scheme. They've got thousands of public. They've got thousands of public.
They've amended it to come towards your demands. What exactly are you demanding?
No, this is a great myth that's been perpetuated over the last 24 hours. They have come nowhere near. They just tinkered yesterday. It was politics. They played a little bit of politics. They deferred the scheme beyond the next election because they knew that in their Labor heartland, in regional centres around the country, they would be killed at the next election if they went ahead with this scheme. It's a very cynical political exercise.
How do you then achieve what you say is the goal here, to protect those jobs until there is an international scheme in place?
Well,